Have you been wondering if it's true that you can study in the US for free? If you have been wondering, then I'm here to assure you that yes, it's possible. You can study in the US with full financial aid. I mean, what am I saying? I am one of those people. I am not paying out of pocket and I am studying a biology pre-medical degree in the United States. So first, I'm going to talk about how you can research on your own if a college offers scholarships and if those scholarships can add up to 100% financial aid. Secondly, I'm going to talk about the opportunities that United States colleges have for postgraduate students. And then lastly, if you stick around up until the end of this video, you're going to get a list of colleges in the United States for undergraduate students that offer up to 100% scholarships. Most international students in the United States study with a 100% scholarship, and that person could be you next year, whether you're an undergraduate student or a postgraduate student. If you have not checked my previous videos on how to apply to the United States Part 1 and Part 2, then go ahead and check it out before continuing with this video, because that's how it will all make sense. So grab your notebooks, grab your iPad, grab your sticky notes, grab your laptops, grab whatever that you need to make sure you take down as much information as you need. By the end of this video, you should know the list of schools that you are applying to with specific names, because I'm going to provide you guys with 2 lists with amazing schools that give amazing scholarships in the United States. So stay tuned. Do not apply to study abroad and plan to spend your own money or your parents' money, especially if you meet all the requirements that I mentioned in my previous videos. Unless, of course, you have the money like I said before. Here is how you can figure out how much scholarships you can get from a certain school and if that school is worth it to apply to. The first thing that you have to do is to check the estimated tuition on the website of the school that you want to apply to. Once you know the estimated tuition, you can go ahead and do your research on the scholarships that this school offers. The goal at the end of the day is to make sure that the scholarships that you are eligible for will cover at least 95% to 100% of the estimated total tuition that you checked on the website. Once you know the total tuition, start making a list of the scholarships that you're eligible for. You can access these scholarships on the website. When you take a look at the scholarship, look at the eligibility criteria. Some of them are for international students, some of them are for domestic students. For example, if the application for the scholarship is done through FAFSA, then you should know that that scholarship is coming from the federal or from the state, and international students are not eligible for any federal or any state funds. That means you scrap off that scholarship because you're not eligible for it. Now, the list might be endless. That means there are so many options and some of them are for you. Also, be mindful if these scholarships are for first-year students, second-year students, third-year students, seniors, or graduate students, because you don't want to spend time applying to a scholarship that is meant to be for graduate students when you're just a freshman first-year student. For my international students out there, if the school's acceptance rate is high, especially for international students, then that's a sign. Because like I said, we all tend to go to schools that give good scholarships, that have good scholarship packages. So again, you might just want to look at the acceptance rate and see where you stand to being accepted by that school. The next thing that I'm going to talk about is something that you will not find on people's websites. You can get as much information about a school and the scholarship that it provides from the students who are already going to that school. I am here at Youngstown State University. I now know the scholarships and the financial aid packages that YSU offers, which might not be on the website, and that applies to other schools as well. I have gone through the application process, so I already know how to do it, I know what not to do, and I know what to do. So if you reach out to students who already go to that school, trust me, you're going to get so much information that you might not even find on the website. Most international students in the US know each other. We know anyone who's studying at a school that you probably want to go to. So if you know someone, like for example me here, you can reach out to me and be like, hey, I want to apply to this college. Do you know anyone who goes there? And I can definitely find connections, ask my friends, and give you the contact of someone who already goes there. When you talk to students who are at the school, they will not just give you information on scholarships, but they'll also give you information of the school itself and the culture at the school. I'm not going to talk about that because that's already in my first and second video about the culture of the school and trying to figure out if a school is a good fit for you. Now, if you don't know anyone in the United States or in the country that you're planning to go to, most schools have what they call international ambassadors. You can go check it on their website, most probably on the International Programs Office website, right? If you see the international ambassadors, they'll have their name, their major, their faces, and what they're interested in doing and what they like doing. So then when you see that, you get to know these international ambassadors just from the website. But there's always an email so that you can contact them. Emails on people's websites are not just for you to look at and leave them like that. They're for you to use and reach out to these international ambassadors because they're also students. So reach out to them and be like, hey, I am interested in applying to the school that you're at. I saw your name and I saw your email on the international ambassador's website. How can I get to apply for this scholarship? How can I get to know more opportunities that are at your school that might not be on the website? Another important thing to note is most state schools in the United States are funded by the state. And like I said before, international students are not eligible for any state funds or federal funds. But there is always an exception. Like I am at Youngstown State University and I have 100% full scholarship. My next video is going to be about how I got the scholarship so that if you want to apply to YSU, you can do the same thing. So stay tuned again. Going back to what I was saying, there are exceptions. If you ask students at that school, or if you take a look at a specific website for that school, you might end up figuring out what these exceptions are and if these state schools have some separate funds to offer to their international students. So don't give up when you see state schools that you think are a good fit for you. They probably have scholarships out there. It might just not be the same as non-state schools. So the two lists that I'm going to provide to you at the end of this video were compiled by students who are at the schools that they put on the list or who know students at the schools on the list. And we are certain that all the scholarships listed are there. You can get them. And that is why I decided to give the lists to you today so that they can help you out at some point when you apply. Financial aid for international students is a little bit difficult to get and limited as compared to graduate students. However, it's not impossible, it's possible. But for graduate students who are studying either a master's or a PhD, 95% of graduate students in the US are going to school for free. They receive tuition and they receive a stipend on top of that. If you have already done your undergraduate program in a different country and you want to apply to the United States for your postgraduate program, you still have to check the website, check the scholarships that they offer, and check the requirements for the application. For example, the GRE, letters of recommendation, or any other specific tests that they might want like IELTS or TOEFL. So go ahead and check the website. But regardless the field that you're going to be in or your major, most postgraduate students will come and venture into three things. It could be research, there could be a teaching assistant, or there could be a graduate assistant. If you're going to be a teaching assistant, you will be taking your classes for your master's or for your PhD, but you will be also teaching undergraduate classes so that you get your tuition covered and you also get a stipend for the work that you're doing. For a graduate assistant, you're not necessarily teaching an undergraduate class, but you're probably helping in the department with any specific things that they might need, and some of them are related to undergraduate courses. But again, you have your tuition and a stipend covered. The last one that I want to talk about is the research, because most people do research in their master's or their PhD. So with research, you'll be working in a specific lab that is led by a professor at that school, and that professor is normally called a principal investigator or a PI. So your PI will receive funding either from the research or the publications that they have done or from the school. And this funding that the PI has will be used to help you, since you are working in their lab, to help you cover your tuition and to also get a stipend from that. So what you want to do is to go on the website and check the research labs available at the school that you want to apply to. Select a research lab that you are interested in with like good research that you love, that you are very enthusiastic about, and reach out to the PI. Like I said before, the emails on these websites are not just for you to look at and scroll through. They are for you to use. Reach out to these people. One thing that I learned in the United States is communication is key. Like, writing emails is like writing a text message. I mean, it has to be formal sometimes, but you need to get used to typing all the time, because sending an email works, applying works. If you don't apply, they are not going to know that you exist. If you don't send an email and reach out to the principal investigator, they are not going to know that you exist. I know so many graduate students here at Youngstown State University and also at some schools who came here just because they reached out to a professor and asked if they could be let into their lab. Now, it's not just easy. You definitely have to do an application. You have to show that you're interested in the research that the professor is doing. You have to also show that you're amazing inside and outside of class. And you also have to show that you're passionate about whatever field that you're trying to venture in, and tell them a future about you after taking your master's or a PhD. So I know after saying all of this, there might be some undergraduate students out there wondering if they can also be a teaching assistant or a research assistant or a graduate assistant. For undergraduate students, you apply using all the methods that I told you in my video 1 and 2 of applying to the United States. And then once you get to that school, you can be able to work on campus if the school allows that. So when you do your research, that's one thing that you want to consider as well. Check if the school allows for work study, because then you can work on campus as either a teaching assistant or you can also do some more jobs. I will definitely make a video about this to talk about on-campus employment and more information that you might need. Now, the part that you probably have been waiting for throughout this whole video: college lists that offer financial aid. I have 2 lists with me. One list has school names and the name of the scholarship that that school offers. It also has the amount, or rather the value of the scholarship that is being offered by the school. So if the scholarship is offering full room and board, it's written on the list. If it's offering $22,000 per year, it's written on the list. Be mindful that if it's giving $22,000 a year and the total tuition is $50,000 a year, the gap over there is $38,000, and you need to figure out if that's something that you can pay out of pocket. If not, you need to find another scholarship from the same school to make sure that it reaches 95 to 100% of the total cost of the tuition. This list also has more information about the requirements or the eligibility criteria for you to apply for this scholarship. So once you take a look at this list, you'll be able to see which schools you already have on your college list and then see if they offer any scholarships. Or you can take a school and be like, okay, they have good financial aid package, so I'm going to apply to it. So I hope that list number 1 is going to be very helpful to most of you. But I will highly recommend you to check list number 2. List number 2 has all the schools that offer 100% scholarships. Now, these scholarships are not static, they change. So this list can also change. However, it's updated almost every single year. So go check it out. And if it's helpful to you, please, please, please let me know, comment down below. So this list is not all exhaustive. There are some schools that offer 100% scholarships and are probably not on this list. But this is so that you have at least 50 schools to take a look at and then to choose from. To break down what list number 2 has, it has the big universities, mostly the 7 Ivy Leagues and other big universities that have good packages of financial aid. It also has liberal arts colleges in the United States that have good packages of financial aid that can get you up to 100% scholarships. It also has a list of historically black universities in the United States, which are called HBCUs. And under these HBCUs, you'll see a link that will take you directly to the website, which has the scholarship information, where you can even start the application if the application is through the website. The other things that you'll find on list number 2 are links to scholarships from other countries like Ghana, Canada, the United Kingdom, Korea, Japan. So again, take a look at those lists and make sure that you use what you need. And I hope these 2 lists will be so helpful and they'll take you to wherever that you want to be by next year this time. So these lists are down in my description box. Just go and click the link in my description box and you'll get the 2 lists. Share with anyone who needs them. Because what's the point of this? It's to help whoever needs the help. Again, thank you guys for being here. Don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, and don't forget to share. Oh, don't forget to comment down below if you have any questions at all. See you guys in my next video. Bye.